What's going on, all you gamers? Today I'm going to be going over what we know of the upcoming Outriders new DLC, Worldslayer, what my take on it is, and how I think it's going to go down. So if you want to know the good, the bad and the ugly, then that's coming up next. Welcome back, all you guys and girls. As always, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, then why not hit that subscribe and bell icon. I'll bring you all the latest and greatest content, hints, tips, guides and builds, and just some fun gameplay and reviews of upcoming games. But for today, we're here to go over Outriders new DLC that should be hitting in a few weeks time, and that's Worldslayer. Now, like I said, Outriders Worldslayer is just around the corner, but should you be excited for it, or is it something you should give a pass? So, releasing on the 30th of June, if you've never played Outriders, this is an expansion to the game where you can play up to 3 players multiplayer, kind of a gun-toting action role-playing game that had some very solid mechanics, and the actual core fighting and shooting was absolutely outstanding. However, it was far from perfect and did have quite a few issues, especially at the start where there was matchmaking issues, certain legendary drop issues, and then there was the issues with the timers for the actual expeditions themselves that made it a little bit silly, because a lot of times it was making it so that people played single player even if they preferred to play multiplayer, just because they'd be able to clear them a lot faster. In my eyes, the devs definitely didn't really have their finger on the button with this, and it took quite a while to fix a lot of issues that probably could have been fixed a little bit sooner. However, if you played Outriders today, before the DLC even, in fact, it's in a much better place. Great mechanics, fun to play, and an overall really nice game to sit down and sink a few hours into. So with that being said, will this new DLC be enough to warrant a purchase? So this right here in the background seems to be the new big baddie on the horizon, and that's Ereshkigal, which I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, but it's something along those lines. She's going to be the new campaign antagonist that you're going to be gearing up in order to defeat. So we know she's the new big bad, but what exactly does Worldslayer bring to the game, and is it going to be worth an investment? Now, to answer this, I think you're going to need to work out if it's a game that you're willing to spend the money on for the DLC. The original, a lot of times people were probably getting it because it was on Game Pass, although some obviously paid for it. This one is going to cost you around about £30 give or take, but seems to add quite a lot of content for that. So I'd honestly say if you're still playing Outriders now, or if you really enjoyed it when you did play it, this may well be worth your time. If however you didn't enjoy Outriders when it first came out, this may well be worth a skip, as it definitely doesn't reinvent the wheel, as a lot of the settings and such look very similar to those that you've already visited. And the combat mechanics and the functions of the game will also be very similar to what you're already used to. However, it does look slightly improved upon, and if you're anything like me, one of the main reasons you're thinking about buying this, or why you loved Outriders in the first place, was the amazing gear and the weapons you could obtain, especially the legendary items. Now, the legendary items in this game seem even better than before by quite some margin, as will your character themselves, as they'll be able to now harness the power of the packs. You'll be able to gain 2 more subclass skill trees to invest a few points into, making your builds even stronger. Also, because you'll be up against some new and tougher enemies, as well as a new tougher difficulty setting in the new Apocalypse tier, you're going to be able to tackle this by gaining some ascension points, which again is ultimately going to make your character even stronger as you invest them. Now, like I said, because of all this, you're going to need some awesome gear, and luckily you're definitely not lacking for that. The legendary weapons and legendary gear sets in this game are absolutely amazing, and I would say are some of the best I've seen in any game to date. And now for this new DLC in Worldslayer, they look to be even better. Now, with the best gear in the game allowing for 3 mod slots, you can do some crazy combos with more flexibility than ever before, allowing for some fun builds and some crazy damage numbers. Like I said, Outriders has always been amazing for their actual weapons and their gear, and now it definitely looks better than ever. If you want to be shooting at green skulls, you very well can. If you want to harness a beam that's going to come down on your enemies, absolutely nuking them while you shoot, you can do that as well. There's going to be some amazing weapons that drop in this game, so if you enjoyed the originals, this will be even better. Now, it looks like there's definitely going to be a lot to love in this DLC, but again, will it be enough to keep you going for quite some time, or is it just going to be something you'll play for a little while and then put down? The original definitely didn't have the best endgame, with the Eye of the Storm, in which once you got good at it you could complete it in a few minutes. This now seems to have something that's going to be a trial. Now they haven't completely said what's going on with that yet, more is going to be released within the next day or so fingers crossed it will be a true endgame activity, and that will definitely help the replayability and the longevity of the game. People Can Fly have already stated that they'd like for this to be a franchise, so fingers crossed they're going to invest a lot of time and effort in making this an absolutely amazing DLC, and any issues they have with it, they'll be able to fix it a lot faster than they did when the original game came out. If you jump over to the background here, as you can see we've got a full skill tree for the Pyromancer, the new subclasses just on the left hand side here. Like I said, it's not completely reinventing the wheel, it's pretty much an update as it suggests, with it being an expansion rather than a sequel, but for anyone who really enjoys Outriders, it will definitely be something you'll be able to get a lot more extra hours out of. In my eyes, I believe this DLC will kind of make or break the game. If it's amazing, it will keep people around and it may well grab quite a few people's attention, as the actual core gameplay mechanics of Outriders is so fun to play, feels so fluid, you can easily find yourself sinking many hours into it without even realising. The combat is just exceptional, and that's one of the reasons why I stuck around with it for so long. However, if they don't make the endgame any better and instead it's just a little upgrade with a few more expeditions, I can't see this holding people's interest for very long, and I don't know if it will garnish enough attention for it to be a fully fledged franchise. But as always, let me know in the comments what you guys and girls think. For all things gaming, for all things Xbox, take care, I'll see you on the next day.